Welcome to Sweethearts or Rivals. I'm Charlotte.
I'm Justin.
What's on our table today?
We have
Cacao.
Cacao.
Cacao is a noisy game in the box.
I think everything just got dumped.
Yep. It plays 2 to 4 players.
Yep.
Can take you about 45 minutes. They recommend you can play it with ages 8 and up. It's published by Z-Man Games.
Yep.
And where did we get this game of Cacao from?
We won this through a Board Game Geek contest.
We sure
Woo!
did. So the one where you have to answer all those questions.
Yep.
And it really happens. Real board games come in the mail when you win.
To real people.
To real people like us.
Excellent. We're going to switch the camera.
Yep.
Go through our overview.
Right, and if you want to watch a full game playthrough, you can click on one of those links up there.
Yep.
And if you want to watch a review about what we think about Cacao, you can click on the other link up there.
There you go.
We'll switch the cameras and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay, let's see what's in the box here. Whoops. Everything got dumped. But normally it's like organized. But it's just not.
That was my bad.
So we've got some cacao pieces.
Yep.
And we've got our meeples in the different colors. It's a four different colors.
Yep.
And the tiles, of course. So what we're going to do is we'll take everything out of the box, get it set up, and we'll be right back.
Well. We're back!
And we're all set up for Cacao.
Yep. We have it set up as a 2-player. There's some slight changes to the setup depending on how many players there are. For a 2-player game, your own worker tiles, you have all of them, so none of these get removed from the game. But in a 3 or 4-player game, some of these worker tiles are removed. In a 2-player game, you have to take some of these jungle tiles and you have to remove those. So in a 2-player game, you got to remove one of the mines that says 1. You got to remove one of the markets that says 3. One of the temples. One of the sun worshipping sites. One of the water holes. One of the cacaos. Actually, 2 of the cacaos. Of the single cacaos. So these come out of the game, and then you shuffle the rest, and you put 2 face up. We've got our sun worshipping markers here, our money, and our cacao beads here. Then we have our player boards. This is like our own little village. In the middle of the playing area, there is 1 cacao field, and then there's 1 market at 2. And we shuffle our own worker tiles, and we start off with a hand of 3. And then the last thing we do is we take our meeple and we put it on the -10 spot of the watering hole. And the game is ready to go. And it's the older player that goes first.
Awesome. Everyone's going to know I'm older.
I can go first.
So what's Cacao about?
In Cacao, you have your own little village here. We each have our own. And we're trying to get cacao, store them. There's little 5 spots here that you can store them. So that you can then sell them to marketplaces to make money. And that's how you win. There's no real points. It's just all money. Yep. At the very end of the game, what you're going to do is you're going to take all of your money and count it up. You're going to look and see how far along this water track you got. And then depending on how far you got, you're either going to subtract points or you're going to add points. So technically we start the game at -10.
Yeah.
So you add that in. Any of these sun worshipping discs that you have left over, like right now we have none, but there's spots enough for 3. Any of those left over is worth a point each. And then you're going to look across this plain board, which is going to fill out, and you're going to add points based off of majority around the temples. So whoever has the most workers around this temple will get $6 more. Whoever has second most will get 3. Whoever has the most money is the winner.
Right.
How you play is very interesting tile lane mechanism because there are 3 sets of tiles in a 2-player game. We have the big pile of jungle tiles, and then every player has their own set of worker tiles. And then we're going to be playing out our worker tiles, possibly playing jungle tiles. And then what happens is it's not the tiles that activate, it's the workers. And if you're thinking in terms of tiles activating, it can get confusing. And we've played a couple games where we were playing it wrong. You got to remember it's the worker that is going to activate. And then that way you can play right. So, for example, if it was my turn, I would have a hand of 3 and I would look through. And some of these tiles are going to be 1 worker on each of the 4 sides. Some of them are going to have 1 worker on opposite sides with 2 here. And there's even a couple that have 1 worker and then 3 on one side. So there's always 4 workers, but their distribution is a little bit different. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play one of these tiles to a place like so. And what you're going to do is you're going to create kind of a checkerboard of worker tiles and jungle tiles. So there's no way a jungle tile could ever go there, but a jungle tile could later on go there. So I'd place that, and then you're going to activate your workers. Your workers activate the first time they're touching a jungle tile. And you can activate the workers in kind of any order you want. So this would allow me to get 2 cacao because I got 2 workers and that's 1 cacao field. And then this 1 worker activates and I can sell 1 cacao for $2. Done. Then I get to pick up another tile.
And then it's my turn.
This is where it gets a little bit interesting because if Charlotte places, let's say she takes and places a worker tile right here. So just do that right now.
Okay.
And we'll just show it off.
Let's see. I would probably place, you might put something good here, or I might put something good there.
Yeah.
So I could place that there.
Now because there's 2 worker tiles right here, that space immediately needs to be filled in with a jungle tile, which you then get to choose from those 2.
And normally there's 2 different ones, but in our case there's just temple tiles, so I have to put a temple tile.
Yep.
And look at that. I, for the moment, have majority on that temple because I have 2 meeples to his 1 meeple.
Yep. So then Charla's workers would activate. She would get a cacao.
Ooh, thanks.
And then because she placed this jungle tile here, that worker activates. But again, with the temples, there's nothing that actually happens. It's just an area majority of the workers around it for the end of the game.
So say if it was different like this. I would get 2 cacao.
Yep.
And Justin would get 1 cacao right now from my move.
Yeah. Even though it's not my turn, my worker would activate because a jungle tile was placed next to him.
Right.
And that's how you play. Then she would get another card and it would keep going around and around. So a very interesting thing can happen, doesn't always, but can happen near the end of the game. If the jungle tiles are ever completely gone and the game isn't over yet, what you can do on your turn is instead of playing one of your worker tiles, if you've got one of these sun worshipping discs, you can spend it and you can do what's called an overbuild. And it's a very interesting thing where you get to take one of your worker tiles and you get to build it over top of one of your previously played worker tiles.
And now he has majority in the temple instead of me.
Yep. And because I just played that out, all the workers on this tile would activate. So it could help me get majority on a temple. Whatever tile would end up here, I would activate that and get some stuff. You can never build it higher than just one on top of another. You can't have like 3 or 4 or 5.
Well, you only ever get 3 of those things.
What's the maximum you can get?
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, if I spent one and then got another one and then spent it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's an overbuild. It's a tricky way of manipulating the end game. And the game ends when everyone runs out of their worker tiles.
These ones here.
Yep.
Okay.
Once those are all gone, then you do the end scoring. Whoever has the most gold is the winner. If there is a tie for gold, whoever has the most cacao at the end, that's the tiebreaker.
Okay.
And that is the game of Cacao. Pow.
So, we're going to set it back up for a 2-player game, and
Yep.
we're going to shoot a video now
That's right.
of our full playthrough.
Got it.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks.
We'll see you there.
Laters. We're recording, by the way.
I know.
Here's a blooper.
I'm not scared of recording myself. I'll just delete it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Being all saucy at the camera.
I'm saucy.